Pages. This is going to take like about 4 or 5 minutes. But it's just something, and Jake hasn't read it yet, I don't think. It's from a book called Epic. And it's a book by an author, his name's John Eldredge, and it's just about the universe we live in, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, the creation of the world, and like the part, and this part I'm going to read is about like the part, he splits up like all of time into 4 acts. There's like Act 1 where it's just the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, then there's creation, and it talks about, this part I'm going to read about is where we're at now, and like, I just want to affirm Jake, and just tell him how proud we are of him, and when I read this it reminds me of you, and just your courage for God, and this, what I'm going to read is talks about realities that are going on around us, some that we don't see, and I know Jake is very aware of that, and I'm just proud of you. We're all proud of you, so I just want to read this before we give you the next thing. It says, so, we are living somewhere toward the end of Act 3. We have a future, but this tale is not over yet, not by a long shot. We now live between the Battle of Helm's Deep and the Battle of the Pelennor Fields, between the beaches of Normandy and the end of the war, between the fall of the Republic and the fall of the Empire, between Paradise Lost and Paradise Regained. We live in a far more dramatic, far more dangerous story than we ever imagined. The reason we love the Chronicles of Narnia, or Star Wars, or The Matrix, or The Lord of the Rings is because they are telling us something about our lives that we never ever got on the evening news, or from most pulpits. They're reminding us of the epic we are created for. This is the sort of tale you've fallen into. How would you live differently if you believed it to be true? The final test of any belief or faith that claims to provide an answer to our lives is this. Does the one explain the other? Does the story bring into perspective the pages you are already holding, the days of your life? Does it take everything into account? Does it explain the longing in your heart for a life you haven't yet found? Does it explain the evil cast around us? Most of all, does it give you back your heart? Does it lead you to the source of life? Something has been calling to you all the days. Something has been calling to you all the days of your life. You've heard it on the wind and in the music you love, in laughter and in tears, and most especially in the stories that have ever captured your heart. There is a secret written on your heart, a valiant hero lover. It's been a good week. Okay, sorry. A valiant hero lover and the beloved, an evil one and a great battle to fight. A journey and a quest, more dangerous and more thrilling than you could imagine. A little fellowship to see you through. This is the gospel of Christianity. Now what is your part? What is your role in the story? In truth, the only one who can tell you that is the author. To find our lives, we must turn to Jesus. We must yield our all to Him and ask Him to restore. To restore us as His own. We ask His forgiveness for our betrayal of Him. We ask Him to make us all He intended us to be. To tell us who we are and what we are now to do. We ask Him to remove the veil from our eyes and from our hearts. The story God is telling, like every great story that echoes it, reminds us of 3 eternal truths it would be good to keep in mind as you take your next step out the door. First, things are not what they seem. Where would we be if Eve had recognized the serpent for who he really was? And that carpenter from Nazareth, he's not what he appears to be either. Sorry. There is far more going on around us than meets the eye. We live in a world with 2 halves, one part that we can see and another part that we cannot. We must live as though the unseen world, the rest of reality, is more weighty and more real and more dangerous than the part of reality we can see. Second, we are at war. This is a love story set in the midst of a life and death battle. Just look around you. Look at all the casualties strewn across the field, the lost souls, the broken hearts, the captives. We must take this battle seriously. This is no child's game. This is war. A battle for the human heart. Third, you have a crucial role to play. That is the third eternal truth spoken by every great story, and it happens to be one we must desperately need if we are ever to understand our days. Frodo underestimated who he was, as did Neo, as did Wallace, as did Peter, James, and John. It is a dangerous thing to underestimate your role in the story. You will lose heart, and you will miss your cues. This is our most desperate hour. We are needed. We are now far into this epic. We are far into this epic that every great story points to. We have reached the moment where we too must find our courage and rise up to recover our hearts and fight for the hearts of others. The hour is late and much time has been wasted. Aslan is on the move. We must rally to him at the stone table. We must find Geppetto lost at sea. We must ride hard. Ride to Minas Tirith and join the last great battle for Middle Earth. Jesus calls to you to be his intimate ally once more. There are great things to be done and great sacrifices to be made. You won't lose heart if you know what's really going on here, where this story is headed, and what your lover has promised to you. One last paragraph. This is a quote from Frederick Buechner. It says, "It is a world of magic and mystery, of deep darkness and flickering starlight. It is a world where terrible things happen and wonderful things too. It is a world where goodness is pitted against evil, love against hate, order against chaos. In a great struggle where often it is hard to be sure who belongs to which side, because appearances are endlessly deceptive. Yet for all its confusion and wildness, it is a world where the battle goes ultimately to the good, who live happily ever after, and where in the long run everybody, good and evil alike, become known by his true name. That is the fairy tale of the gospel, with, of course, one crucial difference from all other fairy tales. Is that the claim made for it is that it is true. And it not only happened once upon a time, but has kept on happening ever since, and is happening still. This is the gospel. This is the story we're living in. May you play your part well."
Amen.
I put the audiobook for that on your phone, and I'm dying for you to read it.
Where we stayed in YWAM,
Say it louder.
where we stayed in YWAM, that last quote he shared was on the wall.
No way.
Yeah, and you didn't know that.
What quote?
The one that you just
That whole
read.
paragraph at the end?
Yeah, at the end.
Are you serious?
Someone had written it on a banner on the wall.
Where was this? Ireland?
London.
In London.
Yep.
Wow, that's pretty neat. That is
Say
cool.
it was on the banner.
Yeah, banner. They painted it on a banner hanging in YWAM.
Why we have
Youth with a Mission.
Cool, like a bunch of crazy youth people telling people about Jesus. That's what YWAM is.
Did you see this beautiful cake?
Yes,
Wow. Everyone see it?
Up to the
Very cool. Milligan.
I don't have to pray to
You want to take a picture of Jake with the cake on?
Sure.